I got the job without any experience and without even really being qualified. So if you're watching this video and you're trying to figure out how to break into tech, but you don't have any experience in the tech industry, or you just feel, or you're just not qualified based on what applications are asking for, this video is for you. I'm gonna share what my personal journey is, and I believe this can help a lot of people. I shared this story with my younger cousin, and he was able to use this to get an interview within just 2 days of me telling him. I kid you not. So this works. Let's just lock in, pay attention, and let me know in the comments if you have questions. So what I did was I used a shadow network. If you don't know what a shadow network is, it's basically a network of people who you may or may not know, or like 1 or 2 degrees of separation from. And what I did was I just sought out advice. That's the first thing. So I looked for people who had the job that I was looking for, mostly on LinkedIn, and I would send them a message. And the message that got me the job was this one. You can see it. Essentially, the message is this: I see that you have this title and you came up on my LinkedIn. How do you like your job? I'm actually interviewing for a couple positions like that and was curious to know, what's it like? Do you like it? Any advice for me? ? And also, I'm thinking about applying. Would that be weird to you? If so, no worries, blah, blah, blah. It's something of that sort. I don't have the message in front of me, but I know it was something like that. Anyway, this person ended up responding to me saying, yeah, no problem, man. I'd actually refer you. And maybe you're watching this and doing a quick eye roll, whatever. Let me tell you the key. What was happening to me before this was I was just applying to jobs, and every time I would apply to a job, I would see that 100 other people have already applied for the job. I kept running into this over and over and over again, and I was barely getting responses. And by the time I did get an interview, I felt like I wasn't really given a fair shot. So if you're in a similar situation, you should probably listen up, because when you can get somebody to refer you from the company, you skip the line. I don't know if you guys ever been to a club before. You ever been to a place that has a line wrapping around the corner? This skips the line. If you can get somebody who works there already to refer you, it puts you at the top of the list. You don't have to just pray a recruiter finally sees you and calls you up. Because the beauty of this whole thing is tech companies pay their employees thousands of dollars to refer their friends to work there. I know this because people at my company, and the truth is, I've done this plenty of times. I've been paid thousands and thousands of dollars just by referring people to my company. Now, with all that being said, I first sought out advice. I didn't, hey, can I get a job at your company? No. I was like, yo, what kind of advice do you have for me? Would it be weird if I applied? I didn't ask for a favor. I essentially asked for permission to even apply. So the first thing you need to do is create your list, build your shadow network. So what does that look like? Create a spreadsheet. One column says names, right? You build a column that says names, list out all the names of different people. Column number 2 is the links to their LinkedIn profile. If you're not using LinkedIn yet, start using LinkedIn so you can get hired. There's plenty of videos out there on how to build a LinkedIn, so I'm not going to dig into all that. Names, profile links. You need this because you're going to go back to all of these links and send a message template. I've pre-built a template that will work for people you've never met or talked to in your entire life. I've built it out for you. I've already pre-vetted this. My cousin's already started using this, and it's working. So what you want to do is visit DwayneGoldenJr.com/templates. I'll put the link here in the video, and it's going to be in the video description as well. But you can use this template and just send it. Make a list of at least 30 to 100 names, right? 30 to 100. If you're aggressive, go 100. That's what I would recommend. And what you're going to send is the message that I have in the template. Essentially, you're asking for advice from them. After you ask them for advice, they'll respond. And the reason people respond to this template so well is because human nature. People like to feel charitable, like they're doing a good service. So if somebody's asking, let's say you're trying to get an engineering job. Hey, I see that you're a UX engineer. How do you like your job? Any advice for me? I'm also interviewing for a couple UX engineering jobs. Any advice you'd give to me? Thank you so much for your time. If you don't have time, if this is a weird question, don't bother responding, blah, blah, blah. And people will respond like, hey, no, here's how I started. This is what I would advise you, blah, blah, blah. People will respond. So after they respond to your message, you respond to them with, hey, man, I want to buy you a coffee. I'm going to send you $5, $10 Starbucks gift card. It's going to cost you $5 or $10, well worth the money, just to get on the phone and talk to somebody who already has the job that you want, okay? You get on there, you ask them more questions. You should be genuine. Hey, how do you like that company you're working for? More specifically, how do you like your job? How did you get into it? What would you recommend for me trying to break into this industry, trying to break into and get a job like this? Here's what I've done so far. Have a conversation, A normal conversation doesn't need to be super professional, but just have a real conversation with them. And at the end of the conversation, after like 5 to 7 minutes, you stop and you ask them this question. Hey, before I hang up with you, man, I just want to say thank you, first of all, for even taking the time to talk with me. And lastly, based on our conversation, would you feel comfortable referring me for a position at your company? And just shut up. Don't say a word after that. Don't try to say position in your company because I think I could be a real asset. No. Just say, would you feel comfortable referring me to a position at your company? And you stop and listen. And you will get one of two responses. First response will be, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Send me over your resume. That's the one we all want, right? That's what you'll see most times because, like I told you, people make money for referring them. So it costs them nothing to refer you. It only has upside by referring you because they get paid for it. Option number 2, or they just say, unfortunately, my company's not hiring right now. In that case, you just say, okay, I appreciate your time. I appreciate it. You even breaking some of this stuff down for me. Thank you for your time. And then say, hey, one last question. Gotcha, I understand you guys aren't hiring right now, but really quick, do you know any other companies or people you could refer me to? Or I know a guy who works at this company, I think you'd be a good contact for you. And they send you a referral, or they just say, nah, man, unfortunately, I really don't. And you hang up. But you remember, you're spending $5, $10 for a conversation. So after you do this, you have the conversation, you'll get set up with a few interviews. Out of 10 interviews, you should be able to get a job. If you can't, I want you to comment me in the comment section or write me an email, Dwayne@DwayneGoldenJr.com. Let me know what your experience is, and I'll do my best to help you out and see what kind of advice I can offer you. So out of 100 people you sent that template to, right, you get 10 interviews. But now what? You got scheduled for an interview. You still got to get the job. What do I mean by that? Every job, right, that you'll be applying for, every job that you'll be getting referred to already has job descriptions out there. Use the stuff in the job description to describe you. Obviously, I'm not encouraging you to lie or anything like that. Don't do that. In fact, don't lie. But there are certain things that absolutely can apply to you. Use the stuff that the company is looking for to describe yourself in the resume. Even if you don't have the exact same experience, use it to describe yourself in your resume. It will help you so much. And it'll facilitate a better conversation. The third thing you need to do to make sure you get this job is prepare to win. Proper preparation for an interview will prevent poor performance during your interview. So what do I mean by proper preparation? Before you talk to anybody at that company, you ought to know all about that company. So when I went into my interview, I researched the heck out of my company. When did it start? What do they sell? How many products is it? I was looking up product demos like I was about to start my job the day of. Like when you're going into the interview, pretend you got to start working that day. Like you just got to know all this stuff. Learn as much as you can on your own. That will set you apart. Most people don't go in with that mentality. I went in there and I knew all the products. I knew why people bought them and what problems they solved. So I don't know what it is, what position you're looking for, but know the company, know the products, know the services, whatever it is that their company does. Know it. Really learn it. Look up their competitors. This stuff will blow people's minds. The person interviewing you is not accustomed to that. So learn that stuff and be ready. Proper preparation prevents poor performance every day of the week. Second, don't just know the company, don't just know the product, know your audience, who you're talking to. Every person you interview with, you should do some background information on. LinkedIn is a great resource for this. You can see what posts they like. Maybe you never use this information, but it might come in handy. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Hello. Third, don't just know the company, don't just know the audience, know the job. Remember the conversation you had, you paid $5, $10 for. Go back and think about what are they looking for in particular? What's the culture like? What is the day-to-day? How do you describe yourself? How do you answer questions while incorporating a lot of the information that you gained in your phone conversation? Remember, you had a phone conversation with somebody who already has a job working at this company. What kind of insider tips did you gather? Use that throughout your interview. Without them even knowing that you had this conversation with somebody, you get to use that stuff to land you the job. Know the role. Know what the day-to-day is like. Incorporate that in your job interview casually. This kind of stuff will get you hired. Anyway, my name's Dwayne Golden Jr. I'll link to everything in the video description here. I appreciate you watching. I'll catch you guys later. Go get hired. Bye.